And hello everyone, it's Moyibi and here we are for a new video on my channel. So today I have a very precise topic, that is finding the best Wonderkids in the game. That is my specialty. I'm a Wonderkid buyer. I do not spend hundreds of millions on Haaland, on Camavinga. I have friends that are a lot better than me on this aspect. So I usually play clubs with less money, and then I have to find Wonderkids to manage to build a very successful team in the long term. So as you all know, if you already play Football Manager, every year in March or in April you have a youth intake in your club. So this is what the youth intake looks like. This year in my save, Real Madrid's youth intake is very good. I have 3 outstanding potentials that every club would like to sign. But you simply have to know that it's not only your club that has a youth intake. Every other club that is included in the game has a youth intake, and you can see the players that come from every club in the world. So I have a very easy manipulation to get to a page that brings you to the list of all the players that are created every year by the game. So you just have to press Ctrl W at the same time on your Windows laptop, or CMDW on a Mac. So if you press that, you are redirected to the world page. Then you go to transfers, so it's where you should be normally after pressing that. So if it doesn't work to press the buttons that I've told you, you just simply can manually go to this page. So world transfers. Then here you can see that you are on all transfers. You just have to go to youth intake, and here you have the lists of all the players coming from a youth intake all over the world. So if you go on a random one, you have the stats that he has now, but you don't have its potential, its current level. So the very simple way to get to know a player's potential or a current level is to scout it. So you basically choose a number of players, less than 50, because you cannot get a scouts report for more than 50 people. So you take 50 people or a bit less, then you click on reports, get scout reports, and then a week or so you will receive a report on the youth intake that you've just asked. So I usually do it for all of them. So it's a lot of reports that you will receive. And not everybody will be a Wonderkid, of course. There will be a lot of average players and poor players, of course. So you can even choose to just make them for very big clubs such as PSG, Lyon, who are known for having very good young players. Or also doing it only for South American teams that are usually in the late part of the year. Except like Colombia and all that stuff, and Uruguay, who are in January, but Brazil and Argentina are more usually in October and November. So yeah, you select up to 50 players, ask for scout reports, and then when it's done, you will receive an email like 1 week later, something like that, so with the player and its scout report, and then you can decide to choose him or not. We are coming back in 1 week to see what a scout report looks like in your inbox. So here we are 1 week later. So just something that I did not say earlier is that the more scouting reports you ask, the more time it will get. You will need, to have all of them. Like if you ask for one batch of 50 scout reports, it will take 1 week. But if you have ask for 5 or 6 of them, it will take up to 5 or 6 weeks to have all of them. So the more you ask, the more time you will have to wait to have all of them. But if you scout up to 500 players, it will only take 10 weeks, which is 2.5 months. so it's not that huge. So you have this kind of scouts reports with the current ability, the potential abilities, the pros and the cons of signing that player. And thus, you can see that the ones that have a good potential ability can be good to sign for your team. You see now that all of them have a very average potential ability. It's a poor example that I'm giving you. Let's come back when we find one that has a very good potential ability that I consider as enough to sign him. So we are back with a player that for me has a very good potential ability, that is 4 stars in yellow. Those yellow stars are the stars that are pretty sure that this player will have if everything goes as planned, and then 1 white star, which is a potential star that he might get if his career is going very well, and yeah, the potential ability that he can have. So this is the kind of player that I usually add to my shortlists if I cannot buy him immediately. But another advantage of this technique of doing of going to the world's youth intake is that when you scout a player that has just appeared in the youth intake, it is possible that he has no contract, so you can like try to approach directly and sign him without paying a transfer fee. So here, for example, I do the promises, and then I suggest terms, I finalize the deal, and in a few weeks it will be my player and it will be joining at the age of 18. So that is how I buy Wonderkids, and that is the most efficient way for me, like according to me, to find the most promising players in the world. And not all of the players that have a 4.5 or 5 stars ability will reach a 4.5 or 5 star current ability in a few years, but it's the best way that you have to find the Wonderkids before Liverpool, before PSG, before even Real Madrid finds these players, and then you can sign them for a ridiculous fee. Like the compensation fee will be of less than $1 million. 1 million euros, sorry, and in 5 years, when it will be 20 years old and playing for a European team, it will be worth 20-30 million euros. So it's the best deal that you can do to buy them at this age and then develop them in your club once he's 18. So that is the way I do find Wonderkids. And just to show you an example, I'll sign maybe 5 or 10 Wonderkids using that technique, and we will be coming 5 years in the future to see 5 or 10 years, I don't know yet, in the future to see how these players have improved. See you in a moment. And we are back, guys, a few years later in the future, so it's 2028. I went 8 years later in the future, so that's players that were 15 at the beginning of this experiments are now 20, 23, 22 according to when their birthday is. So I have a few players that I've signed for Real Madrid when in the first part of this video. And now I've resigned of Real Madrid. No, I've resigned just after cutting the first part because I didn't want to have an influence on their development. I just wanted to show you what their development would be in the game. So the first one is a player that was in the Real Madrid youth intake. So not really spot with my technique, but just to show you what a guy could be at 22 when coming out of the Real Madrid academy. So you can see he's very good at physically, good speed, good vision. He's a midfielder. He's worth 31.5 million euros. He's 22 years old and on loan at Benfica, so pretty good midfielder that in the future years can be a very good backup and maybe even in the starting 11 of the Real Madrid. Then so the one that I've signed on camera during the first part of this video is Juan Cardona. So he's still playing at Real Madrid. He's now 22 years old, 25 caps with Colombia, estimated at a value of 17.25 million euros. He's very well balanced, a right winger. He can do pretty much everything physically, has good mental, and lacks a bit of technical ability, but still is a very decent player and still at Real Madrid. So yeah, it's a good player. Maybe he could have developed even more with a proper coach and everything, but overall it's a pretty good satisfaction knowing that he has cost less than 1 million euro. It's nothing. Like pretty much every club in Europe could have bought him, and yeah, now he's worth nearly 20 million euros. And with the same range of price, we had Dalibor Isakovic, who is now worth 15 million euros. Just that. Very good physical. Pretty decent mental with good off the ball statistics. 16 finishing, which is very good for a striker. So 26 caps for Serbia, 14 goals. So very good player. Very good added value. Like his new value is very high compared to what we have paid for him, like less than 1 million euro as well. So very good. Good signing. And also could be bought from every single club that has a 1 million transfer budget, which is very common in Europe. Then for a slightly higher budget, we had signed someone called Ruslav Danshev. I have to write his name properly. It's better if I want to find him. So, let's just write Danshev, it's quicker, and yeah, there's only one. So he cost us 2.5 million euros from CSKA Sofia, so from Bulgaria. I'm sorry, English is not my first language. He's now worth 65 million euros. Very good physical statistics, like everything is above 14 and he gets to 19 in some of them. Good mental, good technical ability, even though he's a defender, so very good. He is a starter for Real Madrid already, more than 100 appearances, so definitely an excellent signing. The value has gotten very high, so it would be he would be playing in pretty much every single club in Europe. So just paying 2.5 million for someone like that is a very good signing that we have made with my technique. And then for another category, we have someone from Greece, maybe saying like reading his name. Yeah, probably. No, he's from Germany actually. Vangelis Manusopoulos. So this, I just wanted to show you that not all the signings are excellent. It's a technique that has a bit of risk, a bit of luck, and this player is maybe a player that has reached a good level, but not as good as the others that we have seen. So he was bought for 8.5 million euros, and he is now worth 8 million euros. So he has not lost value, but has not gained value as well. But he's pretty good physically, pretty good mentally, not a good technique. So he's like less stronger than the player that we have seen before. So this shows that there is a bit of risk by doing this technique, but by signing a lot of players and having a bit of luck, you can definitely have a positive cash balance when you sell the players. And I have one last player that I wanted to show you, is Ike Assoyan. So this is a very interesting signing. He was bought for 9.5 million euros from Rapid Wien in Austria. And yeah, look at the player he has become. 23 years old, 50 caps for Armenia, 7 goals. Very good. No, good, let's be honest. He's good physically with a good acceleration, which is important in this game. Very good mental abilities. Some very good technical abilities. So he's a very complete player, as we can see here. He's worth 72 million euros. So like nearly 10 times more than what it was bought for. So yeah, this is definitely the kind of player that you don't really find by going through research, and that's you don't see these kind of players in your game until they become a very good player and that they are at Liverpool and they are valued at 50 million euros. And with my technique, which is shared by many other players in the world, you can find these players where when they are 15 or 16 and that they are worth less than 10 million euros. So this is why I always do my careers with the pressing Control and W and going to the youth intakes and scouts all of them so as to find the best Wonderkids and having a squad full of 4.5 or 5-star players. That's the way I play. And I recommend for all of you that want Wonderkids to use this technique, and I guarantee that, let's say, at least 2/3 of the good potential players that you will find are going to be excellent players worth more than 50 million euros, and that's even if you don't like them, you can make them grow and sell them afterwards. Like this guy, if you're tired of him and you have found someone like a Camavinga or something else at the same position, you can sell him for 72 million euros. What's better than that? I don't really know. So I hope that this piece of advice was useful for you. Feel free to tell me if you have any other piece of advice similar to this one, another way to find good players, another way to find good Wonderkids. This is my advice as someone from the top 50 players in the world. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of other advices that you can give me. So yeah, feel free to tell me in the comments if you have something else to share. And tell me also if you have another topic of video that you want me to do, because there are probably other stuff that I can share with you. And yeah, that's basically everything. Thank you for watching the whole vid if you're still here. And I hope that you will be enjoying your Football Manager 2021 saves. And as we say at my place in the Congo, bye yo.